Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of the Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We come to you on a week-to-week basis from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, the technology, services, and products that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And as we have a planet of 9 billion people by 2038 and possibly 12 to 13 billion by the end of this century, how are we going to be able to take care of all these people on planet Earth? And that's what Emerald Planet's all about. We come to you looking at the solutions, the best practices from around the globe as we create the Emerald Planet. Hello, welcome to the Emerald Planet. We're making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And seeing the long-term impacts of climate change. We're glad to have you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us as we come to you on a week-to-week basis, looking all across the globe, looking for those best practices, the solutions that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And we're talking about the country of Colombia, which have been in war literally from way before, the Spanish went into Latin America. And so for thousands of years, warfare has been going on in this country. But now it's at peace, and it's working towards to integrate the agriculturalist and the indigenous into modern day society of what is a very sophisticated, very dynamic, and very positive society. It just needs a chance to have peace to move forward. A gentleman who actually has been working in this for many years and is part of all this process, Juan Pablo Gomez, CEO of Colfarmer, sitting right beside me. And thank you for joining us on Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you to you, Dr. Sam.
Looking at the logo we have here, Colfarmer, what does that actually mean? Are we freezing on top of the Andean mountains, or does this have another meaning?
No, the thing is, we want to do, an honor to our farmers, or these Colombian farmers. Mm-hmm. So we became to Colfarmer. So we came to this name after several months, a lot of people thinking which is going to be the brand.
You said there were like thousands of names that came up before you settled on this one.
Yeah, thousands of names. We were several people talking about this for so many months, like 4 months, and then the last 2 months we get to the little one, and the last 15 days somebody say, why we call farmers? Say, what call farmers? Colombian farmers. Okay, that's good. Everybody approved. Yeah, that's after all these things we get.
It's just like you spend millions of dollars to have a logo for a major company, and it's the first thing or the simplest thing, or somebody at home says, you ought to think about this, and that's what it becomes after all that money and time and effort.
Correct.
But looking at Colombia, tell us a little bit about the difference as far as the various, what you call departments, we call them states, and also the difference between not only the departments, but also the cities themselves, because I would assume these cities reflect much of the surrounding departments or the states in Colombia.
Yes, there are like 4 or 5 major cities in the country. The rest is, towns that's like empty departments, something like that, because all this war affect a lot of people to get out of the lands and get to the cities. So the huge city, of course, is Bogota. They have almost 10 million people. The population is 10 million people. And then we have Medellin and Cali, that is 2.2, 2.5 million people. And then we have Barranquilla and another city that maybe is like 1.5 million or something like that. But the major are those 3 cities, Bogota, Medellin, and Cali.
Now, looking at the map we have in front of us, many of these various departments or states are highlighted in here. Are there many differences between these various states? And we talked about this a little earlier, but how the Andean mountain comes up as a single mountain chain. All of a sudden, it splits off into 3 different branches.
Correct.
Just
how the Andes came to these 3 different mountains that is like the essence of the country is you divide it by 2. The mountains and the flatlands, 53%, 47%. But the important thing about this is the cities are there in the mountains. It's very interesting. Actually, the capital is in the middle of the country, it's not in the coast. So it's something different, and then we have to go later on with what happened with that Spain. no, the Spanish guy. And the very important thing is that the different of the culture that have all these farmers with all the technology, the old technology that they are farming all these products, but their difficulty for the transportation is really high because the mountains. So the communication is really difficult. So that's the idea, to help them to solve the situation, that communication problem. But also, when you create the agro-industry in there, so you create the factories over there, they can have the knowledge over there and they can produce natural and organic products for the rest of the world since there.
Yeah, and this is really very important. So looking at you have a large urban population, and it's growing, and actually grew dramatically during the intensive war years. But how is that now starting to balance out, where the urbanites and the farmers or the agriculturalists are now maybe more interacting because there's much more emphasis on organic food, much more emphasis on growing their own food within the country. And then also you have a tremendous influx of Venezuelans that are coming in and actually residing in these rural areas. So you almost have a resurgence of agriculture from the very old to modern industrialization, now back to what is now being called the real new green society and new green economy.
Correct. So what happened is the people that left the lands, it's very difficult for them to forget about the city and go back to the land to do the farming. And the good thing from the social situation that have all these Venezuelans coming to Colombia is that we suggest like 2 years ago, to the government to start directing these Venezuelan people going to the farms. So something that could be a very big social impact in the cities, now it's a solution in the farms because we don't have people that could do the farming, enough people. So we are brothers. Venezuela and Colombia, we are brothers since a long time ago. So we are working together, helping each other. 50 years ago were the Colombians going to Venezuela, so it's like a
reverse flow.
We're returning the favor, so it's like it's good impact. So at that point, we are trying to do the blue economy, or like we say the green economy, in order to instruct them in the new technologies and with the new equipment, with the new knowledge.
And also, too, looking at this photograph right here, it's the new knowledge, the new marketing opportunities, but also there's financing that's actually going into the rural areas where maybe in the past there was very little. Now it's looking like it's more significant because the country can see itself, and it's been declared by the United Nations as maybe one of the 5 most important nations on planet Earth as far as providing food for the world, not just for Colombia itself or just even Latin America. So this dynamic, how do you see that again as we branch off from the urban areas back into these agricultural sites?
It's very important for us to understand that it's not only an opportunity, that the FAO said that Colombia is one of these 5 countries that's going to be bringing food to the rest of the country in 20 years.
Rest of the world.
In the world. But it's very important, a good opportunity, but it's more a responsibility. Because let's say some people die in China or Russia or is dying in 20 years, it's our fault. So we have to take that responsibility
Meaning
very
from
serious.
Food
because
insecurity.
Because they don't have enough, they don't have food to feed the people. So if the climate is going to change dramatically, how it's doing, and we have to improve those technologies so we can bring all the food to the people that need it in the world.
Now, something that you've been focused on, which is this ancient cane, you and I've been talking a lot about this, and this very special superfood that, in a sense, you've kind of rediscovered back from 600 years ago, this panela.
The panela.
Tell us a little bit about panela, and why do you see this as a way forward for this new green revolution in the country of Colombia?
Panela is
I guess we need to say, what is panela first, and then why is it important?
And then we go
Let's
there.
do that.
Okay, panela is a product, it's an ancient cane. Since 500 years ago, almost, 20 years is going to be 500 years, the sugar cane came to Colombia. And then we start processing, in that moment, the Indians, and we make the panela. So we squeeze the cane, we get the juice, we filter it, and then we start boiling, and we have this kind of brick, no, or a bowl or something like that, and then we boil it with water, and then you have this like a tea, no, or like a drink, like a nice drink. Could be hot, could be cold. So it's very good for the people. It's healthy because, of course, it's a superfood. Have vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and carbohydrates. So it's a superfood. So it's the second, super food that is a sweetener, as the honey. But we can, the honey with the bees, there's not enough production for the rest of the world. But with cane, we can have enough production for the world.
Now this ancient cane, right?
The ancient cane, because it's an ancient cane. Why is an ancient cane? Because, the panela is more than 2,600 years ago. They discovered over there in Asia, no? So, and they were doing this production of the panela as an ancient cane, as an ancient product, and it's very healthy. But the same what happened with almost all the food. People forgot about the essential, and they were starting doing business. So they forgot about something, and we have a lot of products as a sweeteners. But sometimes some of them
empty
are
calories and
empty calories, empty
obesity
vitamins,
and all that.
So the idea is to change, and now we are taking care about our bodies, our health. So it's something that's going to enrich your body.
Now, looking at the farmers here, we've had some various photographs of the farmers in these various seminars. So why is it so important, this education, as far as the farmers are concerned? And they look very happy, they're well dressed, and very attentive to what's going on. So tell us a little bit about the metamorphosis, the change from what they were earning before, what they're now earning with the panela. This is a huge change.
Correct. So before, a regular farmer in Colombia 4 or 5 years ago, and still in some places today, they have $600 income per year.
Yeah, that's $600 US dollars
per year. So it's really difficult to survive. And so what we don't want is that they take again the gun machine or take care about some kind of crops that you don't have to be, illegal crops.
Now, where's the drugs?
So that the drugs. So we say, okay, we can do this with the panela. That is a very Colombian product. It's more Colombian than the coffee. Everybody know coffee. You're going to know about panela because coffee is only 200 years in Colombia. Panela is 500 years. So now they're having an income per month around $300. So $600 a year, now it's $300 a month.
Yeah, I mean, that is amazing transformation, and that's a huge change because now all of a sudden they can send their kids to school, they can take care of their health problems.
Correct.
They're actually saving, they can build their houses faster, they can gather more land in order to produce.
And real houses.
Real houses, but also is that they're actually helping now to protect the environment.
Correct, because that's very important. When you train them, when you instruct them, it's not like we're doing this and I don't care about the environment. No, it's very important that it's a circular economy, blue economy, sustainable economy.
Yeah, I tell you, it's absolutely fantastic. Perhaps we're running out of time. We're going to show a few more of these photographs here as far as education is concerned and really developing these areas. But looking at the next 5, 10, or 15 years, where do you see Colfarmer going? And you got about 15 seconds.
Colfarmer is going to be one of these names that everybody's going to recognize as a company that's going to bring to your body real food.
And that's absolutely fantastic. Juan Pablo Gomez, CEO of Colfarmer from the country of Colombia. And thank you for being with us as we're looking around the globe for these best practices, the solutions, as we create the Emerald Planet.